great day for fun and learning. Welcome to our second quarter science class. This is Teacher Joy from Santa Ana National High School, your teacher broadcaster for Science 7. Today will be a fantastic day as we're going to explore, discover, and learn new exciting things on this lesson.
Just a quick reminder to all our students before we start our lesson. First, please look for a comfortable place while tuning in to our channel. Second, make sure to have notes and pen ready for today's discussion. Third, prepare your Science Quarter 2 Module 6 for more fun and exciting activities. Please don't forget to click the notification bell below the screen and hit the subscribe button for more updates. Last time, we were able to differentiate plant and animal cell. Also, we explained why cell is considered the basic structural and functional unit of all organisms. Before we proceed to our new lesson, let's have a quick review on the previous topic. Looking at the pictures, what can you infer on the difference of each cell? Very good, students! Animal cell has a paired centriole and has no fixed shape, while plant cell has chloroplast, cell wall, large central vacuoles, and has a fixed shape. The rest of the organelles are common to both cells. Great job! Our new lesson today is anchored on the most essential learning competencies given by the Department of Education, which is to differentiate asexual from sexual reproduction in terms of number of individuals involved and similarities of offspring and parents. And these are our lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, students should be able to describe asexual reproduction, describe sexual reproduction, and differentiate asexual and sexual reproduction in terms of number of individuals involved and similarities of offspring and parents. We will start our new lesson by reading a story about a farmer, plants, and raises different animals in his farm. Let's all read it together.
Once, there was a farmer who lived in a huge farm. He grew many plants and raised different animals. One day, his little grandson joined him at the banana farm. The boy noticed some little banana plants growing near a matured banana plant. The boy asked his grandfather, "Grandpa, what are these little banana plants growing near this tall banana plant?" The grandfather replied, "They are called rhizomes. A matured banana plant forms rhizome that grows into little plants that we can remove and replant elsewhere." The little boy replied, "So Grandpa, these little banana plants grow from one parent banana plant?" The grandfather replied, "Yes, you got it. Banana plants grow and multiply into many banana plants from one parent plant." From the banana farm, they went to a hog house. The little boy saw lots of piglets in the hog house. The boy asked, "Grandpa, do piglets come from one parent too?" The farmer laughed so hard with what the boy asked. He replied, "No, unlike the banana plants, the piglets have two parents, a male and a female pig. The female pig called sow gives birth to piglets." Wow! What a nice story! Thank you, students, for reading with me. What have you observed from the story? Did you find the story interesting? Wonderful! Based on this story, organisms will reproduce in different ways. Reproduction of organisms may require one parent or two parents. Now, what is reproduction? Reproduction is the ability of living individuals to produce offspring. And there are different modes of reproduction: asexual and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction requires one parent only, which means it does not involve the union of gametes or sex cells. The offspring produced from this process is genetically identical or similar to the parent, like this organism in the picture. While sexual reproduction requires two parents, which involves the union of gametes or sex cells. The offspring produced from sexual reproduction is genetically unique or different from the two parents. Interesting, isn't it? Let's find out more of this information. To continue, let's further discuss the asexual reproduction. Are you ready? Asexual reproduction does not involve the union of sex cells or gametes, which means that the offspring produced from a single cell through this mode of reproduction inherits genes of the solo parent. There are many methods of asexual reproduction, such as vegetative reproduction. Second, binary fission. Third, budding. Fourth, spore formation. And lastly, fragmentation and regeneration. During vegetative reproduction, a new individual is produced from a single parent using its vegetative parts like its stem and leaf, just like this plant on the picture. The next is binary fission. It involves the division or splitting of the cell into genetically identical daughter cells. On this picture, a protococcus, which is a round single-celled green alga, divides its cell into new identical daughter cells. Each of the daughter cell continues to grow until they become as large as the parent cell. Next is budding. Another asexual reproduction that is mostly observed in bees, hydra, and sponges. An outgrowth or bud develops from one parent and later on separates and becomes a new individual. Another type of asexual reproduction is spore formation, a reproduction that happens among molds and fungi. The new individuals are formed into seeds or spores, but from the other parts. Fungi develop spore case that opens and releases spores that are carried by wind or water. When these spores land on a favorable environment, it grows into another organism. There is also fragmentation and regeneration. Other than plants, animals can also reproduce asexually through this process. Example, when starfish is cut into several pieces, each piece can grow into another starfish. This is called fragmentation. Fragmentation, also known as splitting, is a form of sexual reproduction in which an organism splits into fragments. Each fragment develops into a mature clone, genetically and morphologically identical to its parents. The part of the starfish being cut will regenerate to form the lost part. This is called regeneration. Alright, students, those are the different methods of asexual reproduction. Still excited and want to learn more about reproduction? Let's go with sexual reproduction. What is sexual reproduction? That's right! Sexual reproduction involves the fusion of gametes or sex cells. This mode of reproduction involves the production of new living organisms by combining the genetic information from the two individuals of different sexes, the male and the female. Under sexual reproduction are different methods like fertilization, conjugation, and pollination. Fertilization happens when two gametes of two parents unite to form a zygote. The diploid zygote formed through the fusion of haploid gametes, the egg and the sperm. Fertilization can be internal or external. When the union of the male and female gametes happens inside the female's body, it is called internal fertilization. This occurs among mammals including humans, reptiles, and birds, just like this chicken. While external fertilization happens when the union of the male and female gametes or sex cells occurs outside the female body. This happens in the outer environment, especially in the water bodies. Both male and female release or discharge their gametes in the external environment. This occurs among amphibians, algae, and fish, just like the frog. Next is conjugation. Conjugation occurs when two microorganisms join or swap genetic information. Some microorganisms undergo on this process. This happens in Spirogyra, a green alga in which the tubes between the two cells of two Spirogyra filaments are formed. The genetic information of one cell passes into another cell through the conjugation tubes. Then, the genetic information of both cells combine and form a zygote. Lastly, we have pollination. Pollination is a production process in flowering plants. The male part is called stamen, which contains the pollen grains, or the male gametes. During pollination, the pollen grains land on the stigma of the pistil, which is the female plant structure of a flower. Pollen then forms a tube that grows down through the pistil and reaches the ovule within the ovary. One of the nuclei in the pollen tube unites with the egg nucleus in the ovule and forms a zygote. The other sperm nucleus combines with the two nuclei of the two polar cells in the ovule, which develops into endosperm. And that's all for the sexual reproduction. What a great information we have today, students! To find out more, if you've understood our lesson, let's exercise your mind through this activity. On your module, page 13, under Once More Activity 1.1, group the different modes of reproduction into asexual and sexual reproduction by writing the words or phrases inside the basket. I'll give you 1 minute to do the activity. Nice! Good job, students! Finally, you were able to correctly group the different modes of reproduction. For more fun and learning tasks, you may read and answer other activities found in your module. To sum up our lesson, let's gather together all that we have learned today. Number 1, reproduction is the ability of living things to produce a new individual or offspring. Second, asexual reproduction requires one parent only, while sexual reproduction requires two parents. Number 3, in asexual reproduction, the new individual or offspring produced is genetically identical or similar to the parent. While in sexual reproduction, the new individual or offspring produced is genetically unidentical or not similar to the parent. Fourth, the different types of asexual reproduction are vegetative reproduction, binary fission, budding, spore formation, fragmentation, and regeneration. On the other hand, the different types of sexual reproduction are fertilization, conjugation, and pollination. Lastly, reproduction of different organisms is important for the continuity of life and biodiversity. And this ends my discussion for today. Impressive job, students! I will be really glad if you learn a lot from our lesson today. For your evaluation, kindly answer your Quarter 2 Module 6 assessment on pages 16 to 18. If you have questions about the module, don't hesitate to ask your teacher. Again, this is Teacher Joy, your teacher broadcaster. Thank you for watching and stay safe, everyone.